I'm going to talk about faith today. My throat is not really clean, so maybe I will be coughing, but I'm soon there. It doesn't bother me at all now, because I'm 99% okay. It's only that I don't talk to other people in the morning because I don't have any friends or someone living with me. I'm on my own. And talking to God is inside me, that I do. Faith is really a little complex, but I try to talk about it, and it must be into my own faith. I can't talk to you about what is written about faith or what other people say is faith. I need to talk about my own faith, and that have held me in going into the 23 year to be, and I had to hold into the faith. This is January 28, 2023 when I'm recording this. And I live in Sweden, but I am going to talk a little about when I was homeless in United States, because that's where God sent me from to take me away from death and make me continue to live, because I was on my way to do a suicide. But God come and talk to me, and a higher priest was there for me and told God about my situation in that time when I had decided me for to make a suicide, to kill myself. And they didn't wanted me to do that. So God sent me to United States from Sweden, and took me away from my children and my husband, everything, so they should not disturb me. And I see it now when my ex-husband, he died of HIV AIDS, and for many years ago, and my children doesn't care for me at all. So it didn't matter that God took me away from those people, because they were not good for me. And I talked to my daughter, but she have told me that she only care about her father. She is her father's daughter, and he don't believe in God. And she believe in Jesus and not God. So she is on a very low level. But I want you to come up to a higher level in this with heaven. And and talking about faith, that is the first principles. It is the most important, faith. Without faith you can't do anything. Without faith you are dead. It's very important for that is the connection with God. Without faith you don't have God. And the faith is not, you can see the result of faith in action, but you can't see faith. Faith is a spirit thing. And I was like, it was not myself that did it. When I come to United States, I only was drained out from everything. And I did what God told me to do. So I bought me a ticket, airline ticket to United States. But in that time I didn't have any faith. It was that it was like a silence I had there. And then when I come to United States, it was only to survive. That's how it started. And so the faith, it started to survive. And when I lived in the United States and was going into many bad things, that people wanted to kill me, people wanted to destroy me, people wanted to control over me. Then I saw that there was something behind me that make me not be killed, not be controlled over, and make me escape from whatever come my way. And so I started to get contact. The first ever contact that there was with heaven, it was when I was in the airplane going to United States. I didn't have any faith. I didn't believe really in God. It was not manifested inside me. But in the airplane to the United States, suddenly the airplane went down in the air, like going with a elevator. It go only flat down, and it was not like in a movie that people were screaming. It was silence, and I started to pray to God. That was my first really contact. After that, God have been to my home and talked to me. So, and then suddenly the airplane was going forward, and the captain in the flight, he say they had one engine died, so they have to switch to another engine. So that was the first contact, and God saved me. We could have dropped down and be killed, everyone in the airplane. And so that was the first contact with God. on my own, that I didn't try to reach him when I should make a suicide, because I didn't know him. I was not raised to believe in something. I was in a reality the whole time, but I had in my mind that there must be something more out there. I had my own belief that this can't be all things, that we should only live here on earth and nothing more should happen. That I knew already as a child, because I saw how bad it was around me, and I had like a seed of faith as a child that it can't be only this evil things around me be abused. I was so abused as a child, and I was thinking it can't be. And I had a memory of being living in heaven before, that this was not the first time I come down to earth, that I felt. So I had the foundation for faith inside me from a baby. So faith is this little seed I had inside me from the start that have to grow. So if you have faith as a seed, and I had that, it can be, if you had a seed as a mustard tree, and in Israel there is it's a big tree. Here in Sweden, the mustard seed, it's become only a herb, like 1 meter high, a little more, 2 meter, 1 meter, but not like a tree. And but what was said by Jesus was that it was, he was not thinking about the herb. He was thinking like a big tree where the birds could have their nest and people could lay under the tree and get the shadow, so that they were not laying in the sun and be killed of the sun. Because even if sun is good, it can also kill. It depends on us what we are doing between the sun and shadow. Shadow can kill us because it can be too cold, and the sun can be too warm, so it kills us. It's up on us to do what we should do to protect us, to not be killed. And knowledge is a way to not be killed. Now, knowledge, I'm not talking about books. I'm talking about inside yourself, to have you must have defend yourself. And there is people that have not this defend, but you need to pick it up, the surviving, what you have inside you that can survive make you survive in every situation you are in that threat you to be killed. You need to pick it up. It's a spirit on its way to come through here. When I was laying in my bed about 1 o'clock in the night, it have been many times because it's very crowded, my home of heaven and spirits, and it's not that they fight. It's not a war. It's because many of them have been royals. They have been political. They have been in religions, traditions, things, and they had the power in this world when they lived here on earth. And I have told you, and the Spirit have told you that the closer they are coming to earth, they place on themselves what they had when they lived here. That's why the Spirit is talking now. He take over here. That's why it's different of spirits and angels in heaven, because it's where they are. As soon as they come in, so they walk here on earth, they can be killed. And as closer they are to heaven, they don't go, they are not be killed. And they can talk to us from heaven, but not coming down. So there is different grades of those that is in heaven. That's a very important thing to know, that is different. Some is sent down, many are sent down here on earth to be our guardian angels, to be with us and see what's doing and help us make decision and these things. But in the same time they step down to earth. Now he's saying this, that's Jesus. He was killed because he was walking here on earth. And I think there is people that if he was God's son, that he was powerful in the spirit, why did he be killed? Why didn't he was defended by God? And we read that on the cross he asked to get help, and those thieves on his side, they one of them say that if you are God's son, go help yourself. But he was on earth, so that's when they got into a human body. And when they go in a human body, they can be killed. And that's why you need to prayer, to talk to God, to talk to heaven every morning before you start to do your day. First, to thank heaven and God God and heaven that you wake up in the morning, that you should thank God and heaven to make you wake up. And then you should talk to heaven, to God, and like I have teach you about how to protect you by word, to talk, to get the protection. And so you need to listen at those episodes, because it's not one time I have talked about protection in to talk to God, in to talk to heaven to help you, and to tell them that they doesn't need to come down here on earth, because then they are weak, that they can do that from heaven. And in another episode I were talking about that they can move, not in the body, but they can move in a spirit way by only thinking that place. So they can think about to, now it's very strong a spirit, so it's start to move to your place in the spirit way, not in the body way. And that you can every morning put the spirit on you as a protection. This is very strong thing he's saying to you. This you should do if you're really, really, really into these good things. That you tell that heaven to come and help you and protect you, but not go into your body and not touch the ground here on this planet, but stay where they are in heaven, and only by thinking it make a protection on you. That's what he's saying. The spirit that is here is very strong and wise, and he tell you that you should tell them that I need your help every day, but stay in heaven and help me, and not need to come down and walk with me and could be killed. So that's what I'm talking to my own heaven, and those spirits that not they don't need to walk here, and those spirit that is inside my home, they are not walking. They are here as a spirit. I can see them sometimes when they allowed me to see them, and they coming down to talk, not to me but talking to you, and I see them, and they don't need to walk with me because I sit in my home, and I am not outside. I am not with other people. I'm on my own. So they can touch the ground in my home, but not. They are not walking with me on earth. They are spirits outside and help me. So that's important that you tell them, because the spirit that is your guardian spirit, angels that is here on earth, that touch the ground, they help you, but they are weak when they touch the ground. So you can ask spirits to touch the ground, but also have a covering of spirits in heaven for you every day. That's what you're talking about. So you separate those two groups of protection. One is with you, whatever you do here on earth, but some have to stay where they are in heaven and only protect you from heaven. That's what he's talking about. And I was telling you that in the night about 1 o'clock, and I told them that you don't need to come in my sleep and talking and want like fighting to come forward and talk to me. I don't need that. I say that nowadays I don't need to sleep for you to talk to me. You can talk to me in the daylight. And he did. He come here and talked to you about this with the spirits. And so they respect me when I tell them. That's because they were very powerful when they live here on earth, and they are fighting in that way, not to kill, but to be first to talk to me. And that's what I feel, and it's I can't sleep in that time. And they come about 3 o'clock. But I need to tell them every time I am going to sleep. They don't bother me when I'm sleeping in the afternoon, but in the night I have to remind them that they don't need to come in the night like before I knew them. Now, when I knew them, they can come in a daytime. They don't need to wake me up. So I have failed that for a time. That's why they have wake me up at 3. Instead, like he was coming here. And I say that before I fall to sleep this night, that they can come in the daytime. So they let me sleep. And now he was coming here. And there is more spirits standing here. But I am on my way to talk about fate. So if they don't have this with fate, they can talk to us another time, because they are here the whole time. So they don't need to come forward if it's not extremely important and be in the subject that we talk about now. So faith is not about reading books. Faith is inside yourself. You need to touch yourself and not books, because books is not you. you you are you inside your body. You are already born, and you have all that the tools for to come closer to God, but you don't use them. I understand that you have not understood it, that you have all the tools inside you already. You're born with those tools, and the faith is only a small thing, and you need to make it bigger. The faith, you, it's it's a seed. The faith is a seed, and you need to put soil and water into it for it to start to live, or else it's only a dry seed laying there in your body. So all people are born with all the tools. It's how you recognize it and how you make it come alive, or else it's laying there and not produce anything. And for those that never have this growing inside them, the seed will dry out. It's going to be dead, not doing any good for you. So you need to do it today, to start to give it water and soil for it to grow inside you. And the faith is nothing that you can see. You see the result, but you can't see how it's working. The faith, that's inside you. It's a hidden thing when it's have not started to be growing. And it's disturbing of the spirits that is here. There is a young man here, and he have this brown clothes on, like a monk, but he's very young. He's between 20 and 25, and he's standing here in front of all other. I will see if it's what it is that he want to tell. He stopped me. That's why I did with my nose now, and the ears stop. And I think that's what he wanted to tell me, that it has nothing with the body to do. It's in your mindset, the brain. That's where you have this soil, and you watering in. He's saying when you talk to heaven, that's how you watering it. The soil is in your brain, how you think, how you understand these things, because it is nothing you can touch on. There is nothing you can do to grow from what is in the world. It's inside you. he is saying this, so he is okay to talk because he teaches us. And he said it's about to close the worldly things, to close the door, the brain, from what's going on in the world. And just now is it much evil things going on in the world. It was the black police that killed a black man. And there is in Israel, in Jerusalem, was killed yesterday, and it was it's many things going on just now. And why it start to be more and more evil, as I have talked about, is because they want to disturb you. They don't want you to grow in your faith, because you are more thinking about what's going on in the world. And in that way you don't watering your seed so it can grow. And that's why you have to exercise to close. Of course, I told you that I know about these things that happen. And every morning I watch the news. And as it was in Israel, I have a television channel that is Al Jazeera, that is Islamic news also, so I can see and hear what they are saying from that side also, from Israel. So that's I do in the morning, and then it's okay. Then I don't listen anymore. And I don't listen at these discussions. It's many that do that. But discussions, they don't create anything. They only give you more, maybe, understanding what's going on. But you don't need that. You only need to know that's what it is in the world today of the news, and then you stop it. You don't need to be involved in it, because the discussion they do of things that doesn't create rules and laws. It's only discussion, nothing to listen at. So that's why it is this. It's going on in the world now, and it's will going more and more. I told you about 2023 that is going to be a very bad year, and you don't need to follow it more than maybe news to see it in the morning and then in the evening. And it's to disturb you, to not be spirit-filled. That's what it is. It is not. It is, of course, a little to put you into the pit, and that is on yourself. You place yourself into the pit because you listen at all these negative things going on. So you need to stop, watch those discussions in negative way, and only watch news like in the morning and late in the evening, before they end the news for the day. So that is not on the devil, it's on you. You are, that's what they are talking about, that you are like small gods, because you can decide if you want to go to the pit, to hell, or if you want to go to heaven. It's about what you are doing, what you act, and what you place into your brain. You need to place in good soil inside your brain, so your faith can grow, and that's what the devil doesn't want. You have to understand that is your choice. You give the tools of choose if you want to choose the darkness, or if you want to choose the light. That is faith, is built on that, because you watering with good water and have good soil in your brain. That is only up to you about it. He's doing this young man with the brown. He places his hands together like you do when you pray, but he doesn't pray. He only make a yes to it by move his two hands together and down and up, down and up, and down and up, like that. That's what he wanted me to tell you about, and I will see if I have more to say about faith, but I feel like I'm really drained out from, because the two spirits have been here now, and that's enough for me, because it doesn't end anything, because they can come back in the evening, they can come back tomorrow or another day and talk. They are here, so they are not away. So maybe you got many things to think about, so that's up to you to make the decision to choose between darkness or light, where you want to stay. And that is inside your brain. You don't need to take in bad things. That's a decision. It's only to turn off the television. It's only to turn off the kids if they are fighting. You say, you can go out and do the fighting. Don't be around me. And you can say that to adult people that do this childish things, fighting things, that don't be up in my face. Go somewhere else and do the fight. You can tell them, because you are like a small god, because you can make decisions and you can talk to people. Most of you can talk, but you that can't talk, you can do that in another way. Show it with your body language, with your hands. That go away with you. I don't want to hear. negative things, or I don't want to watch negative things. That's your decision. Thank you for listening, and have a great weekend if you listen at me just in this day, 20, 28, 27, 29, somewhere there.